future. Follow me, no for
Sierra Leone, push. You my killer, this is for you them. Hope for you say.
This ain't not a kush. No, not a kush. No, not a kush. Oh yeah, yeah, you feel them. What are they on me eye? We are the see me sister them. They die in the street. Oh, me I can feel them. When you they see me brother them in the streets. Yeah, some they link they not. Some lay down a guts at the sleep. Oh. So when I ask them, tell me say na kush. Nike pull roll and son of them food. They prefer for left the house, they gonna get so all day they kush. Oh yeah, say not a kush. Oh. Me brother don't before him them. Say not a kush. Oh. So they use the old age my youngest. Say not a kush. Oh. Youths them just they die. Say not a kush. Oh. Sorry we say that's a cushion. Hey, push for die. Say that's a cushion. Papa government help we are. Say that's a cushion. Hey, push for die. Say that's a cushion. Hope for you to say, is it all? That's all we say. Say make we die.
Fumble them on a good afternoon, on a good morning, on a good evening. I hope say any sauce on a friend on a safe. I hope so na they do well. So some man go be like, oh, Matilda look different today. I don't look different, no. I'm just projecting my grandmother, grandmother from my paternal side. I'm just projecting her tonight. So I hope for tap into in great wisdom tonight in the way I speak about issues. Okay. Not to me one green sit down I asked today. I know say last week I not been there. So I want to tell Mr. Jamboria and definitely Mr. Kargbo Boku thank you for waiting sit down for me. And over the next coming weeks I'll be doing some disappearing acts. Okay, due to other commitments, but it is okay because we can substitute for each other. Thank God me not to the soul voice I so Osai Matilda in voice not the other voice they can substitute. I hope so una they do well. Usa una day. I hope so the heat is not as bad as here. It was very hot, very, 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 very hot, and it's still very, very, very hot. So, like right now, me also a little bit of a freezer, just so for balance the heat, from outside. But anyways, for the one the way they salon, I just talked to somebody in a salon about 3:30 noon time. We are not sure now almost o'clock. Maybe I'll say about 7:30 Sierra Leone time it will be. I'm not sure. And the person say Matilda. He said they're in the boss pan right now. He said, not just the boss pan, no. He said the pleat wood. he said they're in the pleat wood summer one. Women for say it's raining cats and dogs, right? It's raining heavily. It's a heavy downpour. So una within a salon, una be very, very careful. I see the last flood of Donda Street. Italian for say Donda Street, I don't know waiting at the connection or whatever. No matter what happen, every rain season, where they Donda Street don't flood or Donda Street they flood or people then they this it. I don't know why it's always Donda Street, that angle there, that axis there. I don't know why, but if you go back, when I look at least the last, I would say 10 rain season there. Every rain season, I don't know. I think say Donda Street's not too far from Sambagota because growing up, I remember vividly that Sambagota. I know. If I go salon, I can able waka go there. I can able waka trace the path, but I really cannot say exactly Usai. If I say Nimbana Street right now, begin call place them, I might be off because remember, me salon one. day one I've been small, go come back, go up small, go come back. I always say that. So I'm not the expert about Sierra Leone, but it's a country that I love, and it's a country that I love to exploit. And no, not exploit, sorry, explore. Not to exploit or me not to like there's some people there. Yeah, make a change them. Not to like some people there are not the exploit, are the explore. Right? It means say I like for sabi, I like for no. But I don't want to waste time this even time because we get Boku for talk. I bring the enchilada for una today. I bring serious one pot can for una today. So I bring some dry fish. I bring some kuta. I put some kanda inside. I put some chicken inside. And then I decide for add pamine inside. Mr. Jamboria, tell family I do.
Pull them on a good day, good afternoon, good evening.
Okay,
I
Mr.
think
Kargbo,
as
tell
Matilda say, we go cow the one pot.
exactly. Mr. Kargbo, tell family I do.
All right, Fambo Lemonado. This Miss Matilda dragged me into it, but I'm glad for Dinaya for joining the distinguished person we always can grace this occasion, in addition to Matilda expertise. So again, on sorry for me, not to the host, me just come no more for again as guests. So if I say anything yeah, we and not be as strong as I can see I'm sure wanna forgive me for that because somebody there will get a whip. We go say, no, you're not gonna say that or you're not gonna do that, not this show. So Famulem, on our thank you, on our do.
Mhm. So basically, una know for say since the day of the election, where I come on and I say I know they wear makeup, I not go do this show with makeup because it don't say where we they do polish on dirt. It don't say where we they take fighting for cover dirty. Not to so. So since that day till now, I know wear makeup. Now 1 year, now we they rub so. I know where if I notice when I go to all my shows them, I don't ever wear makeup now any of the shows that I do since that day and I stand by it. So you continue to see my natural self. It no matter if I'm going through some tough time. Like for me personally, some people that when they go through a tough time and they put on excessive weight. But for me, they show on my face when I'm a bit stressed or whatever it is. Now my face now they tell. So it no matter how my face stand, that's all they see 'em. Okay, I will never cover it up. I will not touch it up because that is my way of saying that let us uncover the dirt in our country. Make we try for begin take broom the sweep some of the dirty come out, so that's the waiting day underneath, waiting day at the surface. We all go able to see them. So without wasting much time, I want to call the numbers them we uno can use today for interacting at the show. I know that right now feelings are hurt, okay? But make a call the number them and then I go speak to that before we sit down inside the show proper. Like today when I see the title now Unpacking the Tripartite Committee's recommendation on Sierra Leone's election reform or reforms because there are many of them, okay? But make I read the number. Then in North America, toll free number now 1-866-944-7722. We UK local line now +44 2080891455. We Australia local line up +6129 098 4337. And then we universal number, we now the WhatsApp number now 1343 997 5828. Una not forget say una can catch this program by downloading we apps them, the VOS television mobile app, on Google Chrome, at the Play Store, the Google Play Store as well as the Apple Store. Una also not forget say una can download the VOS television mobile app. So una can able listen to it and Also, una not forget say inside that app there, una get boku, plenty, things them where they inside there, where all man, as a matter of fact, as a community can benefit from. Una not forget, so now July we don't the crop, so now we mean for say we are basically 5 months to Christmas, and I don't tell una for say I get for go inside that app there for do light me, I light you, jam me, I jam you, crop me, I crop you. So no, not forget to that one day we been the look. Myself at the look, we get classified, we get dating, we get forum for people and for discuss, we get ongoing news, we get access to YouTube videos, them movies, them one I can watch. We get place for advertisement and all of that. We are working consistently to bring our community together, for make sure say, we work together as one, we did together as one. And for we salon folks them, also not forget say can catch the show and catch so many other shows them now with VOS radio, na FM 91.9 na Freetown. Okay, so right now inside the nation, right inside the compound, there are people who are extremely happy because they think they have achieved their aim. They don't achieve their aim, but then some people and they feel very disappointed because they feel say the one thing we guaranteed them for express by law freely was stolen from them, was taken away from them. Whereas some other people them also feel say some other people as a result of their own selfishness, right, not allow thing for go the way it's supposed for go, so that way they at least we go begin amending curve. We go begin amending curve, right? So right now there are three sides, right? Actually there are four sides. If I want to be 100% honest. The side we feel to say we got them where we want them. We don't get them who side we want for make them sit down. The side we feel say, you know what, my right has been violated, completely violated, right? My expressions dismiss. And then the side we feel say, you know what, people and they play both kiddie with we, these two parties are playing both kiddie with us, then they play both kiddie with we emotions them. And then the side way completely disengage and say, you know what, if they want, then kill themselves. If they want, then sit down 20 years. If they want, then do akecha nakam. If they want, like whatever they want, let them do. I don't care. And I know quite a bit of people who are in that fourth category. I know actually few young people them as well as middle-aged people them where recently they are planning on selling all of their assets in Sierra Leone and just focusing on where they are. Because for them, they're like, listen, I spend 98% of my time here. This is actually where they give, now this 9, they give me bread and butter. Salon, I they go there for even less than 10% of me, So why make I for go invest so much emotion, so much now a place where I barely they spend even 2% or 3% of my time? It's not worth it. That's the emotions, the investment put into it, it's not worth it at all. Okay? And then you have people like me who strongly believe that a nation can rise. A nation must rise, no matter what. That we can keep pushing until a nation rises. And so therefore, no matter how they are screwing us, they are really digging us in the background, and we know that's what they are doing to us, we keep pushing. Because we're saying that we will not let you win. If even you think right now you are winning, there will come a time. That's alone, that Creole proverb we say, and I'm going to say it the way it say, Kaka long tay but he must cut. Some of us believe in the kakalongte, but he must cut parable, right? So that is why we take our time sometimes, because no human lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever in this life. Right now, I want to take a moment and jump into something we come out na do this week, where the head of the state say na in greatest achievement so far as a head of state. I want to read a summary courtesy of Thomas Dixon. And I all know for say Thomas Dixon na a journalist, right? I want just read quickly what he say. And then I will pass them on to the panelists and give them quick, minutes for make them give on thoughts, because I think this type of thing, it can good for make no more, just sit down na the cloud space, but for make people them where they within the cloud space talk about them, so that it go spread more, so that people can be more aware of some of these things, right? So Thomas Dixon wrote a few days ago. He says, in a meeting organized by Chief Minister of Sierra Leone at Disenge to look at the gains of the government of at President Bio has made so far, the hashtag president said that he has made the democracy more liberal. So basically, the president believes say he don't make democracy or the process or the experience of democracy more liberal. Liberal women for say more open, more free. And Thomas Dixon went on to write. He says, but just 2 weeks ago, a female lawyer was invited by the police for questioning the legitimacy of the president amidst concerns of election malpractice, citing cyber stalking of the hashtag president. At President Bio said that Sierra Leone now has a liberal democracy, puts people sorry, let me take that up from top up. As President Bio said, Sierra Leone now has a liberal democracy, but people are not allowed to undertake protests. The last protest saw scores of people killed by government forces, for which there has been no. Okay, I'm just waiting. Just give us a quick second, people. For which there has been no accountability. That's what I thought the word was, but another one will go ahead of me say. So basically, for which there has been no accountability. So basically, Thomas Dixon just to point out, right, waiting the head of state say now in greatest accomplishment so far, saying don't make democracy more free, more accessible, more practical, basically. And so Thomas Dixon they remind and say, but just 2 weeks ago, somebody when a lawyer questioned your legitimacy as a result of the election, situation where we get, you get for make them invite the person at police. The police, sequester the person. The police go arrest the person and say it is stalk you. Cyber stalking and bringing the cyber law, twist the cyber law, say it is cyber stalk you. So how on one hand they talk say you young rule under your leadership, you don't make democracy more liberal. But just 2 weeks ago, you did arrest somebody for using that same democratic, openness, rights. Let me use the right word, democratic rights in expressing their thoughts and their views. So I want to go to Mr. Jamboria. What do you feel about this?
Um, I see and read a lot of ignorance expressed. The greatest problem in Sierra Leone is ignorance. People use terms and words they don't understand. 70 and more percent of Sierra Leoneans don't understand what democracy is. When they use democracy, then they juxtapose them with other processes them we may be a part of democratic procedures like elections. Having multi-party elections not make a country democratic. Democracy is not about elections. Democracy is not about what the head of state determines. It got elements them way for be present in a society for make the society consider for be democratic. And amongst the elements there are five now the key. One, you get to empower the citizens. Empowered citizenry is part of democracy.
Yeah.
People them for be the principal actors in every sphere of governance, not only at times of elections. When it comes on decision making, like for example, when it been come on this decision about forming a tripartite committee for look at what went wrong, how much involvement did the people get? For can't tell we say we don't do this, we don't. Not to involvement, not to empowerment. Let the decision come up from the people and say, na so one una do, na so now for do, na so for do. Then you don't empower the people because according to democratic principles, sovereignty belongs to the people. And it is enshrined in chapter 2 of the constitution what they use. That sovereignty belongs to the people. You see, we all go school, but most of we the school not go through we. And at the age where I'm going to be 70 next year, I consider myself now for be a trustee of the Republic of Sierra Leone. And I'm going to say it as it should be said. I'm not saying anything anymore to please people. Because one thing I don't realize is the bulk of us in Sierra Leone have very low emotional intelligence. Now I make we not understand what you need for understand for change. The minute somebody begin talk, you don't take and say na insult. That's a manifestation of low emotional intelligence. If you get good emotional intelligence or average emotional intelligence, when somebody they talk, you they listen to them. You take the nonsense, you put it aside, you take the small sense. I remember when they go school, then we get one poem where then they read last na SLBS, they see the rata, then they play the music and say, go placidly. You are a child of the universe. Even the doll have a message. That is one of the things we have lost in Sierra Leone. Everybody they can talk. The I. Don't too much power. The second element of democracy, fair processes. If we are talking about liberal democracy in Sierra Leone, then we would not have had any reason to spend 12 months trying to conclude issues connected with an elections. Because everybody knows the elections itself was not fair process. If we are talking about liberal democracy, then we have no business having a tripartite committee. You see, it's time we begin to say it as it is because a lot of people assume they know and the public are just munkus. Now begin to tell them, say, now then are the munku, then they misinform we. And we know that. So let them behave themselves. You can have a PhD and you are still a munku because you don't know what you need to know. The third element of a liberal democracy is that there should be responsive policies. I want to ask, since independence, have we ever had a government that is responsive? Do we have one now? Because for all I know, we governments them, nah, Governments where they wait for react. They're not they respond to the needs of the society. If they were responsive, a lot of things will don't go wrong, not go wrong now with society. You just know they talk about rain and flooding at Donda Street. There was a time there was no flooding in Freetown. Today, any tell them say rainy season are flooding because we get a government or get governments them will not ever be responsive to the needs of the people. They don't see them. A small part we call Freetown City has been overcrowded. They don't see them. People they don't remove all the vegetation. So now we're in the candy water just the flow of our land. And they talk about responsive liberal democracy. What is liberal about being irresponsible? What is liberal? Just ask this question.
Mm.
Is liberalism
I,
about allowing people to behave in unethical manner?
yeah.
Because I see
I
of
want
late,
make you.
unethical issues now we don't take put before. Begin the dance, any kind dance na public, they say na voting self. People in responsible position go to schools and encourage children to be doing all the unethical things. Is that the liberal democracy we are talking about?
Yeah. I want to make you hold your thoughts because as we move on to the next issue, I strongly believe say the next two components, even as you don't talk as the at the you don't talk on the first three, the next two components strongly touches on waiting with the move on to. But I want to give Mr. Kargbo a bit of time, make him talk about what he thinks about the Papana bench, saying that he has made democracy more liberal.
That's a heavy loaded sort of component. A short normal, but Boku people in Lekau, Mr. Jamboria say 100% I agree with them. But maybe because we're in a teacher, sometimes we get some word then we able for simplify than me. But one thing we I want to make very clear, where we be the go school and even primary picking self, then get one particular definition where that definition they now one long term American president give that definition they when Abraham Lincoln and I be Republican and he give that definition they based on a speech where he began during the time where America they be get the what they call the liberation war, like the America we they be fought for their independence, and again this then just celebrates the July 4th where he give that definition there. I just want to remind people them of that definition there because that definition there is short but it really, really fully loaded. If people understand the meaning of that definition, they Boku thinks them way or Boku way term way president or any politician make them kind statement, yeah, then go sit down and think, say, okay, but wait till you say you don't fulfill all or you don't improve democracy because for say it don't make a liberal, some people then go begin they wonder within a liberal, but you define them very well. But let's say it improve democracy. It don't pull them from checking time where we all know say now one party and it be the muscle people them and now it don't make them that way where you free for do boku things them under the law. Okay, so let remind people them of that definition there. The definition where Abraham Lincoln gave is a democracy in a system of government of the people. Okay, so what do you mean by of the people? It means say the people then within the society. Now then they form that system, the other governance day and stuff. So the entire system, now the people of that particular either in a country, in this case, Salon. So of the people, all Sierra Leoneans them, they basically be part of the system. So the second part is say by the people. Within that name mean? It means say all the Salon people them, they're not going to rule themselves. They all not go be parliamentarians them. They all not go be president at the same time. So even though the system it cover all Sierra Leoneans them, but it say by the people, meaning the people then get for elect certain people where then go say, you know what, we all not go there at the same time, but we want for let una represent we. So now that now they by the people. So meaning that now the people send them they so that they work the people representative now make them say parliament represent the people because the people that don't put them they say we no need for go there and talk anything with them people and they talk now on we behalf. So now it mean by the people. So now the people then put them there. So the last part is for the people. So anything where them people are where the people elect the representative them, including the president, anything where they do, it will be in the interest of the people. So it will be for the people. So anything where they do will not be in the interest of the people them, that contradict democracy. So now, when I tell we sit on Naya, the first thing, say democracy now of the people, it correct. I go check that box there. Say every Salon people, they now part of that society there. Every Sierra Leonean be part of that society there. Let we check the second box by the people. That's in principle. Half check because they conduct elections. I say half check. I not check and full because they say by the people. But wait till they struggle now, like how Mr. Jamboria say, if not by the people, we don't need tripartite after election. Because the election supposed for represent waiting the people and say. So that's not by the people. So because they not believe, say the people them, they waiting they want, it reflect, so then go na table. So then they na half check. Small check because they conduct the elections, but the reason we make cannot check and full because it not reflect the voices of the people. Now let we go to the third side. Again, this now particularly for we supporters them, where the feel say anything where the president say right. Now I make how they break this down. The last part for the people. Ebo Fambulem. Right now, President Bill, the other ministers them, they live way better life than you. You they kind of struggle, forget essential things them. But yet then they still tell we say, oh, they don't receive boku millions of dollars. So tell me if the previous government, because now that way they wanna collect for benchmark, where I don't tell una say a terrible way for compare. The previous
Yeah.
government, yes, when our APC, and now the current government. Una tell me if then government then they for you. Like put on directly for you. So if the answer is no, then it's very easy for say President we are completely wrong. And all the people that way they say they don't champion democracy because the fundamental definition of democracy in all water. So I just sort of break them down, the elements them of that definition. They say not only one I go say at this point, Salon they see because they not get no option for dreb we or dreb the people out of the country. So now that make that one the old water. Say now off the people, say the Salon people now they're able for bring out and be part of that system there. So I go pause now, yeah. And I just give the overview. But in terms of the specific points them where the journalist Dixon make, if you want to go deep into them, I will do that later. But this I just make a
I think
general.
so. We get room. We get a
Yes.
lot of room for really use this example made by Dixon even as we analyze the tripartite recommendation. And that is why I don't want to go too deep into the conversation, because I know that it presents so many opportunities as we talk for give anecdotes and examples them for draw, examples them, and for say, okay, why this recommendation is, how them for apply them or how them for action them, and what have you. But to this, make democracy more liberal and what have you, I see some people them, they congratulate the new prime minister of, England. So, to the person who thinks they have made democracy more liberal, I believe so you don't see a prime example of what liberal democracy looks like. I think say the person where you congratulate, the country where it did, I think say you see the display of what liberal democracy looks like, right? When people are engaged, when people are given the freedom for express themselves, and then when the will of the people is respected. I think say use una all as a matter of fact. I don't need to call unu name them because unu sabi unu self. At the end of the day, unu no go sit down they talk say unu don't do this, unu don't do that, unu don't do that. Me, I can always make one prime example, and I go always go by that example there, right? We all change over the years, we all change over time, but una own change was so rapid. Una go feel to say na change on steroids. I don't tell una say one of these days, and they can put una before 2018, what you all look like. I keep saying these people laugh when I say it, but no better representation. There is no better representation of what we talk about than where I put them two pictures, then they side by side. What you look like then, the before, and what you look like now, the after. I think say that they go show a prime example of the looting, the broad daylight looting where una boku of una don't sit down inside. Their nyampis in where boku of una don't sit down inside. Liberal democracy is the practice where you see yesterday in England, you see the defeated prime minister immediately after he knows say he don't let him party down, he don't wait immediately resign as the head of the party. He don't wait for make them tell him. That is doing the right thing. That is knowing that, that is respecting the will of the people. That is respecting the process. Wait for make Alala begin. Wait for make Chamot begin. Immediately, he knew what was right. He knew what needed to be done. He did it. Immediately. That is where you see a Sierra Leonean, born in Sierra Leone, came to the United States as a young lady, is now an MP for Peckham. That is what you call liberal democracy, where the space is free for everyone to exercise, for everyone to belong, so long as you can come to the table with your authentic self. Right? That is also that democracy where you see someone in the grind working his way up for the last 10, 15 years, slowly, until he is now called Mr. Prime Minister. He did not get there by thievery. He did not get there by conniving, canoodling, deception, lies. He got there by hard work, by grit. But before we move on to the next topic, we'll go discuss quickly, because remember the discussion of the tripartite now 80 recommendation. There is no way in one show I go sit don't talk now also about 80 recommendations in one go. It is impossible. Your brain cannot absorb it. My mind cannot fathom it. My mouth cannot speak faster and think rationally about it. So make nobody feel say in one breath we can cover 80 recommendations. So like I always say, this now one will go for the peel the onions layer by layer. for make we understand. It is not for you, una we don't go sit down, don't go make shortcut of what it looks like or what it should look like. This we are doing it for the people, those who care to hear, those who have ears, let them hear type of situation. But in the words of Booker T. Washington, I would say, the late Booker T. Washington, I would say, in his words, he once said, a lie does not become truth, wrong does not become right, and evil does not become good just because it is accepted by the majority. At the end of the show, they repeat them words, then they back, said by Booker T. Washington, right? Because that's the stage where we are right now. But make we move on quickly to something what happened within the Anti-Corruption Commission. Again, a lie does not become true. Evil does not become good just because it is accepted by the majority.
And if I
In
can
this way.
interrupt, yeah, if I can
Yes.
jump in a little, yeah, if I can jump in a little bit, I know say you, I don't know if I will say philosopher or poet, but that thing the way you say so, me fambulema, just want to remind now because I dey read the thread and I see somebody like say maybe let show him because it look let we show him it look like say that person there for whatever reason I don't know if any time for miss the point but this person say Mr. Kargbo, Mr. Lincoln's definition of democracy even US failed the basic threshold, so that's where you tie the quote where Miss Matilda make. Winston Churchill, we in a for Agbagba na Britain, it make it clear. It said democracy now the worst form of governance system. It said the only problem now is they don't look boku boku, they don't assess boku boku governance system. They don't see anyone way better pass democracy. So you see, so that's the way you they talk because it's very terrible though. For like you get one person because majority now 50 plus one. So one person for decide basically for the entire country. It's terrible. But the fact of the matter is, what you will replace her with? All the other systems, them, not even come close to the benefit of implementing democracy. So, my brother, democracy is not perfect. No question about that. But the fact of the matter is,
Uh,
Naya, yes, the fact of the matter is, Naya, where we practice democracy, it help for improve me, you, and the Pekin they yet unborn their life and their well-being. So I just want to make that connection there with waiting you,
Exactly.
yeah, the point where you make
Eh,
and saying definitely democracy, not to the best form of governance system. No. But the
Yeah.
fact of the matter is we don't get any other one. We close to democracy in terms of the beauty.
Yeah. Exactly. And I just want to
can
say,
I
I don't want
come
to
in,
hold
sir?
particular thoughts. I don't want to hold on too much because honestly, I just wanted to spend half an hour on this and we are going beyond half an hour on this topic right
Okay,
now. I just
Matilda,
want
let
to
me say
say,
something.
okay, just give me
Let me
one
say
second, sir. I just
something
want to,
before we move on.
okay, I just want to say to this person is that absolutely democracy is not the apex, not to the apex, okay? But like just like Mr. Kagbo said, when you look at
They
all
are a big,
most of the
a big now for breaking down because somebody we don't write na VOS say be they watch one show within grammar, the English they making grammar they cry. So they are big, no make another grammar cry. So that apex thing breaking down for people and they are big. Make a small
oh my
jet.
god, Mr. Kagbo, Mr. Kagbo.
And I
Eh,
make
God,
her say,
Mr.
una
Kagbo.
go forgive me away where it bring me come. So I go they ask him for break something down. There, make people able to understand in a simple creole. With waiting
I
you
will
mean,
try,
please.
okay, I will try. The way where they talk, honestly, to be honest, the way I speak is the way I speak, but I will try. Make I try. Democracy not to Not like the big cotton tree, right? Where you see the big cotton tree, democracy not like that big cotton tree where team up, when are the giants, but all them thick them where you sabi. No, but at least e get thing dem wey dey inside where they make people dem feel say, you know, dem sef dem dey part of the thick in branch them, or dem dey part of the thick in leaf them. I just want for reference a particular country. A lot of people make reference to Rwanda, right? And Kagame, the current president of Rwanda. Now, here is a country where some people then go outrightly say that is not a democracy, right? But waiting at least in a practice as a leader, right? Even though when you analyze them, it is not what you will call democracy per se, but however, the respect and the integrity of in people them, where he get to in people them, regardless of his benevolent dictatorship, tendency, or autocratic benevolence tendency. That means for say it dey use small power, but it dey make sure say in people dem benefits a lot. It dey put in people dem force. It dey make sure say in people dem well taken care of. It dey make sure say person no dey comot na other man country can turn agbagba inside im own country or on top in people dey aid, right? So that is where now that side is on 10 day you can see say yes, even though it is not the complete practice of democracy as we might want to see it. However, in their own form of democratic practice, right? In their own way that they practice their own democracy, that they make for sure say you when a foreign away come, you dey respect that Rwandese, you dey respect them inside country, you dey respect the law inside the country. Rwanda na the country where they go, you know, they carry plastic go inside. It is forbidden. It is absolutely forbidden. You know that if you carry and go inside at the airport, you dey left am. And then they give you warning. Right? The streets are clean, then get laws them, then get things them where you're supposed to abide by. The parliamentary system, they come inside and decide if the president should go again for a term or he should continue to be a leader. The parliamentarians and the ministers them then get target where they're supposed to meet every year. And guess who that then they come and judge and say yes, they meet their target or they don't meet their target. The people. And these things are open. They're not hidden. They're not covered at all. Nothing way accessible to the public, accessible to this population. Then they go now, then they make their own decision. At best, that is called respectable practice of democracy. Right? So where we find ourselves in a junction where we dey talk about tripartites now following an election. However, had we respected the recommendations of the TRC, we would not be at this junction today. Had we implemented, right? We get jurisprudence. We had jurisprudence to work on, but we ignored jurisprudence. And we decided to go our own ways, just like we normally do. So if we ignore that jurisprudence before, what is to say we are not about to ignore this one? Mr. Jamboria, make I give you the floor before we continue.
Thank you very much, ma. You see, I started by saying ignorance is our problem in Sierra Leone. And I still stand by that. We are ignorant of what democracy is. I was ignorant until I came to Norway, and I was forced, because I was elected, to go and take courses in democratization and electioneering. Democracy is not about political governance. Democracy is a social behavior.
Yes.
It's a it's a behavior that society adopts, and it is the foundation that builds trust. Trust is what runs societies. Any society where you see progressive, you get trust. It is unfortunate at this point in time, people think America was the pioneer of democracy. America was not. Democracy itself started in France after the French Revolution. American system of governance copied a lot from the French system of governance and some from Morocco. I'll endear people to go and do research on that. You see, democracy and state ideology are two different things. You can have a country that is democratic, but the state ideology is autocratic. The people may be liberal enough to be tolerant, to be trusting in each other, but the political governance system itself can be an autocratic system. That's what we have in Rwanda. America's democracy is failing because the state ideology is capitalism. It's the dog eat dog philosophy. The same democracy is working in Scandinavia because here the state cares about the people's opinion and welfare. That's why here we talk about social democracy. Britain has a mixture of capitalism and social democracy. And if you listen to the speech of the newly elected prime minister yesterday, he made a key point which qualifies democratic thinking. That in as much as I'm prime minister that has been elected, I am going to be the prime minister of everybody, even those who were against me. Democracy has to be inclusive. If it is not inclusive, it's not of the people. And
Yeah.
in Sierra Leone, it's not inclusive. So, Mr. Kargbo, that mark, take it off, please. Democracy is not inclusive in Sierra Leone. I'm talking now as a somebody disciplined in that area. When it comes to democratic issue, I did an 8-week course on it, intensive diploma course at the University of Bergen. I can even monitor elections as I sit here. We are wrong about a lot of things in Sierra Leone because our educational system teaches us to cram and give back. We recite. We don't understand the concepts. And these are the people we
Yeah.
have in governance.
Indeed. So I just want to go quickly to this anti-corruption.
Yeah, yeah. You know what, Miss Matilda, and again, I'm not going for blame you for bringing them two people here on one platform.
I was
Now,
prepared for it.
now, 100% I agree with Mr. Jamboria, but that Rwanda, to me, I will be careful. Rwanda may not feel seen an example for the exalt. The reason being,
It's an
I, al-
autocratic system, but
I
at the
always
same time, the people are developing liberal trust amongst themselves, even though there are issues
yeah,
with the
okay,
Hutus.
okay.
But
The
the
point,
people living within Rwanda are
okay,
building trust. That is what is assisting the government to make progress. When a people trust what is happening at the top, they participate in everything. The
okay.
participation of the people is what is absent in Sierra Leone
I
because we
understand.
have been polarized.
Okay, I understand all that because if they exalt Rwanda, governments then
Mr. Kagbo, I want to change that English this small. I don't
okay,
think it is exalting
okay,
Rwanda.
okay,
I
okay.
think
Well,
here we have a situation we have a situation where we
Yes.
have the very extreme, right? And then we have a situation where we have the in between, the moderate. It is not as extreme as the very extreme, neither is it as whatever, as and therefore, if you were to take the current situation in Sierra Leone and replicate it to the Rwandan model, I think, say, if you had a benevolent dictator like Kagame in Sierra Leone would have well advanced and well progressed than where we
Agreed.
are now. That
Agreed.
is the comparison I'm
Agreed.
making. I'm
All
not
right.
saying
Again,
Kigami is my ideal. Never.
okay.
I'm not saying he's the
Okay.
ideal model, and neither am I saying he is the model to follow. However, I'm saying, given the circumstances, I will rather have an autocratic, benevolent dictator like Kagame than have something that I currently have in Sierra Leone.
Okay. The point what I make Naya is let we be the reason we make us be careful. If we begin like how you say so, you prefer Kigami kind of approach to the current government. The danger with that is again now the beauty of VOS. See, you bring me
Yes,
come as guest, and now at a challenge your thoughts. Again,
exactly.
not to your personality, now your
And that
thoughts.
is what democracy is about, Mr. Kabo.
Exactly. So now your thoughts are the challenge. Kigami don't did it for I believe say about 25 years. Okay.
24 going on 25 years, yes.
About I make I say about. So let's say 24 going to 25. It take a while for let we see all this. So if and all the African leaders them use that argument today. So that means we forgive President Bill up to 25 years for what we see waiting they happen Rwanda for happen Salon. So time now the essence, the assess. That's now one aspect. And secondly, the people them where they suffer under Kigami in rule, they're not gonna let for let you say that. Because it gets people them way definitely according to the news, where it don't even kill, it don't orchestrate the mother. So to me, like a dictator, it just not like where somebody go on for justify, say like how President Bill be one interview say you get good coup, nothing will make a coup good. So now the similar thing with the try for saying yeah, you get good dictator. No, a
No, no,
dictator.
Mr. Kargbo, I don't want to spoil your thoughts, but I just want to say is that I want to be on record to say, like I have said before, not that I support Kigami, neither do I support his rulership.
Oh,
Okay? What I support or what I am for, however, I believe in general, in broad strokes, to the larger majority that I have known through my research, speaking to a lot of Rwandese have benefited from instituted policies. Now, for the Rwandese to let go of this man, now they institute the policy where we still keep and they have to undo that policy that
yeah,
keeps
but yeah,
bringing
but
him in.
no, now in they guide the policies. How on earth you get people them way don't die? For like Kigami say he get over 90% of votes or rewardings. And another thing, again, lab puts me economics art. But who thing sort of get issue now, in my opinion. Kigami, just like how they complain, it happened, an example will be an Escoma. The supporters them at that time. Oh, an Escoma don't build, it don't construct roads, it don't make this road, it don't make this road. But one thing we do not ask is how much it cost. So you do cost and benefit analysis. Now that way there you're able to assess if not good decision. But waiting, so that underscore man until where President Bill come then do the GTT report, we realize say they spend so much money for construct 1 kilometer of road. With and they exorbitant. So meaning that we not get the correct value for our money. And as a result, not to be good policies. The same thing with the toll, not a good policy. But how they sell them? They sell them say, we they allow Chinese them for expand the road. And then you pay small thing for them. Now so they sell them. They not give Sierra Leoneans them the true picture. Most, if not all, of the construction where they go on Rwanda, now debt. And then they make then debt then they clear to the Rwandese. Now, after we go commodity, person like me, where I truly see the picture, how much then debt here cost versus waiting it do with them before I go assess say now good policies. Until then,
I agree.
because it need to make them open. And that's now one of the criticisms of then Chinese loan, because to them they get in fact a clause of secrecy. And that make them very challenging for like somebody like me go say off the bat it do well. No. Because if now something will go cost the Rwandese for let them pay for generation yet unborn, you go want to ask yourself, by the time that they pay all them debt here, if then constructions here are not even dilapidate. So meaning that you go question the cost versus the benefit. So
Yes.
again, I don't want derail and make them too philosophical, but dictator now that make an like dictators them. Because Baku thinks then they way they're not transparent about. And with transparency, somebody go able or parliament or other civilians them then go able assess the cost and benefit and address them right away instead of it too late, where so they don't die. Look, for example, I go cut the short. Mugabe. Mugabe, the entire Africa be sort of celebrate them, say it don't liberate Zimbabwe. But when I see anything happen, one day for life. So for me, then leaders then they not a good leaders for me. Any
No, I
leader,
understand that.
the person I want to make him on the record. The only leader so far where me go say I want for take after now Mandela. Mandela it gets all the power, people then support him and everything. He hand over. Yes, then terrible 1 year we don't come after him. Now their own account. But Mandela definitely. Now that make way even where he die. You get some presidents in other country will not be able to attend because space not be there for them. I go pause there.
Yeah.
And
So,
pass them
so
over.
Mr. Cargo, yes,
Matilda,
everybody.
let me
No,
just come with a
no.
last statement
If
on
if we
this.
continue this talk here,
Please,
so we know
just
they
a short
ever move
one. Just a
past.
short one.
Wait,
I beg.
I know. Oh my gosh! If we continue this, we know they
I
ever
beg,
move past this
Matilda.
topic today.
No, we they move. Just give me 2 minutes.
We've spent an
You
hour,
see,
over an hour on this
Mr.
topic.
Kargbo, we still get to understand certain concepts in Africa for make we able use them. We basic problem in Africa is we they use concepts they will not understand. Democracy, they function when the state policy is above the persons leading the state. I hope I make myself clear. The state policy, they take precedence over either the be head of state or minister. In Africa, we put the head of state and the minister above the state policy. So we cannot be talking about democracy because democracy operates with continuity, and continuity in governance with refined policies where they seek the interest of the people. Now, in they make trust build in society. Trust cannot be built in 5 or 10 years. But when the people have been through a situation for 15, 25 years, then see say this thing they work for we, they will trust the government. They trust the government as a corporate person, not a physical person. In Africa, that's where we have physical persons being the government. In every country in Africa, as they elect me in picture for the whole office. Whether elect Lamboy to man are the same thing. So we are getting everything wrong. I don't want to waste time. Low them, low can discuss some of them things here.
Not
We need
true.
to educate
Not
the
true.
people.
I agree with you, Mr. Jamboria. Before I take the call, I just want to say something though. Let me just say here 100%. Haven't studied governance, haven't studied politics in Africa, politics in West Africa, governance in West Africa, and peace building, wars, civil wars in Africa and West Africa. I can say this with 100% certainty sitting here. Say that even Mandela, where we all idolize, where we all, it gets so many characteristics then where we all want for emulate, where we all want for use, even in self being get some faults them. Even in self in government
Yeah,
being get
yeah,
cracks them. So now
yeah,
that make
yeah.
I can always say there is no perfect democracy within this space. If we want for really look at the word democracy and how it must be practiced, we can't find a single country in the whole existence of this universe for point and say this na in the picture. We can find examples of little things there. Even within Africa, when we travel around, we go find example of small thing that way sometimes this president do, that president then at that country they do, that president where na how you call them an actual practice of democracy itself. But we cannot look at a country in its entirety and point to that particular country or that particular leader to say, indeed, this particular person exemplify, the practice of democracy. In all day, we not see it. Even with all the respect I have with Mandela, even with all the suffering he went through, even with all of the goodness in him and the goodness to see Africa win, he had his own faults. And we get to recognize that. Now that make us say, they use certain, when I can use certain countries, them, they look at specific examples, then take here, put here, that take here, that put here, that because in all of my studies, in everything that I have seen, I cannot point to one single person, one single leader, one single country that I can say, this, if we apply this writ large, if we apply this broad stroke blanket, this should be. I remember when I was doing my master's, one of my colleague them do a documentary. This is what democracy looks like, and when we finished watching the whatever, we realized it was a satiric take on things because really truly there is no such thing as the perfect democracy for really put together what perfect democracy should look like or ought to look like. We will have to borrow examples from
I,
around and then
I,
put
I,
the pieces together for make it look like something that the world or people will absorb or tolerate. I want to go to the caller. I don't want to hang the caller. Make
Yeah,
I
but
go to the caller.
I just want to make a quick comment. Yes, all that you say, 100% I agree, except for one thing. We say we not go
Okay.
exemplify. No, for Mandela we go exemplify. Now exemplify leader Dandy. Now leader we again that what we use perfection. No human being know they were perfect, but Mandela excellent. Again, I know how for use I know how for do word sniffing there, but he was excellent. He was not perfect, but he was excellent. And that kind of thing where he do, tell me how many leaders them this day and age go get power and then people still love them, not to just in country around the world. And he say, you know what? One time sufficient for me. And he leave, not to say he began health issue and stuff. He allow other people for continue the touch. How many people so let just kind of let people ponder around that. How many leaders that today go say, even where the constitution can give me 2 mandate, but 1 term sufficient for me at the left with all in
Yes.
popularity. How many
Yes.
leaders right now, including Rwanda? So I go pass them over to
I
you.
hear you on that, and maybe, and I hear you on that 100%, and that is one of the reasons why he will remain an icon for a very, very, and I don't think his iconic image will ever be erased in history. However, like I say, I continue for say as a human being, but even as in presidency, there are things that he did wrong. And me, now the type of person where it doesn't matter how much I idolize you, it not mean for say I not go also at the same time talk about you wrong them. Speaking about you wrong does not mean that, I dismiss the good part of you, but I'm also acknowledging that in as much as you get that good part of you, there are errors that you made. And even when I go back to the Rwanda situation and even bring in the Sierra Leone situation, the kind money where Salon receive, Rwanda not receive half of that money they post-election. But I can surely say that there are things Rwanda can show for it that Sierra Leone cannot show for.
Good point. Anyway, let me,
One of the
yeah,
deepest study that I did post-war was on the peace building architecture. I look into the money them. I look into waiting Salon receive. I looked at it and I looked at it and I looked at it. And for what can Sierra Leone show for all those money? And these were not loans. These were grants. These were free money given to Sierra Leone. I don't want to go inside there because every time I go inside that thing there, I get really, really heated up because of mismanagement, because we did not use our opportunity rightly. If we had used the opportunity rightly, most of the things that we they face right now, we know for they face them. Had we put self
Exactly.
aside and put
Exactly.
the us
Exactly.
before, make I go to the
Exactly.
caller. Caller, waiting
Exactly.
at your name and also the call from.
Hello,
Yes, go ahead, caller. Waiting at
me,
your name and also the
me
call
na
from,
concerned
please.
citizen.
Yes, please go ahead.
So actually, I don't dey listen to this program. I don't know when we go finish this democracy issue because I don't feel say it will get for make any sense to any one of you because Mr. Kargbo they defend democracy because he well educated, he understand for the people by the people or whatever. But this democracy what they use in Africa. Although at the listing now, Mr. Jallo Jamboria, and I don't say Africa will be get own democracy, but we don't ever use the word democracy in Africa. Now separation of power. And it starts from God. We create the heaven and earth. Where Satan revolt against him. He get power for destroy him. But he shoot and far. He say, because always you don't do, the goodness you don't do towards me, now when you turn against me, I go shoot you far, go your way. So if we talk about democracy, now they start. But me not go use the word democracy. Now separation of power. And non-sign other way, you know, go get opposition. Even Jesus Christ, we born without no sin. They accuse him. So at the least when they talk about Kagame, that's a good instance for Africa, where Mr. Kargbo, they try for counter attack that. Rwanda go through hell because the democracy when we embrace on Africa, and then they not be agree of. So the democracy pressure them into detail, they not be feel say them go stand. But they like today, If then they throw away Africa, then for go back na Africa, na Rwanda, then they send them. So if we talk about democracy, the man a dictator. Why would then they send African people them na Africa and then they call for negotiate for let take them in country? So when they talk, let we be careful about this democracy. Now democracy killed Gaddafi. And the one that would they say, now them embrace democracy like America. America get blood now in unpack any country in the world. But they not be party signature to the ICC. Now they not ever put them to international courts because they're smart. America don't kill past anybody in the world. And all the world the way they happen all around the world. America get handy. So me not believe on democracy. I believe on segregation of power. When it start from God. But I believe the dictatorship, as long as you ruling people in the right way, a better party democracy will embrace na Africa so. Because the democracy na bring World Bank and IMF, we put Africa on slavery. Because they don't want let we develop. So they pray when Russia they come so now as partner, not a second colonial master, as China comes, Russia come for tell you say you get all what you need for develop yourself. So now me go can help you, let you try for develop everything inside your country. Now the first then they first Russia so where they now make the Ukraine war affect Ukraine and Russia finish. Because of the good way Russia want to do in Africa. So let me stop here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. I don't want to make any of my panel then answer the caller. I want to move to the next topic, please. And as a result of that, I'll just say a few things for waiting the caller. Say, that democracy na kill Gaddafi. He said it in his own way, but not a democracy kill Gaddafi. However, I don't want to go into that. Okay, I'm not going to go into that for reasons best known to me. He say the partnership between Sierra Leone and Russia. Listen, just like the Chinese come with their agenda and they come to loot, Russia now the same thing. Okay, don't think that a partnership with Russia is going to give you more dividend, go give you something more, go benefit you more than a partnership with the Chinese or your existing partnership with the West. Don't be fooled, people. We're not fooling yourself.
Matilda, if
And
I
me go
can
see
say
what
one
I also
word.
and tell you plain. Okay? Straight up. There's always been
Matilda,
a cold war and an open war between the West and Russia. And Russia will not have its way in a system or in a geographic location where the West has an interest. Let me tell you people this. They will do everything until they truncate and they win. Okay? So you forget about waiting they happen so. Right now you have someone in power who very well knows that because he's a very strong strategic thinker, and he is using the Russians and the Americans and a little bit of the British. The British them in don't learn the lesson, so they're not in the kind side like that anymore. Make I tell you now that one time, then can just sit on the wait, say wait, make them know where they don't both talk after themselves done. Then we can kind side now and be the mediator. That's how the British play it these days. Okay, but if you for once think a partnership with Russia is going to be much more beneficial than a partnership with China or that which you currently have with the West, think again. And say the devil where you know, you better pass the devil where you know, Sabi. Think again. When I see Ukraine right now, when I want to make a continue for name more countries then, when I want to make a continue for name more attempted colonies them and waiting Russia, when I show me Oh, show me, rush yourself, then self, na drag man them. Forget about the oil, oh. Then I see yes, drag man them. Make I tell you that if you don't know that. So this ideology of me no know how I can go cook them, let it stay where it is. I am begging you. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a young woman with, few years of thinking. That's all. What do I know? Make I take the call. Call her waiting I name and also you the call for.
Naya
Hello,
Fully
caller.
Mustafa from Leicester.
Yes, please go ahead.
Glad again for Sierra Leone, the good panel. So I think they hit well. They say when people they think two PK, then when they think differently, better. Because we see now the argument and counter argument when a good thing for the discussion. I just want to touch more on this Rwanda business because today, because African leaders then don't give so little to Africans that why we do the small thing na in the hero. That's unfortunate with the situation. Unfortunately, in the situation we get in Africa because now Rwanda then they talk at the cost of people are not going to see Mr. Kargbo in points because we are deprived of so many things. We prefer for see what we see Sudan. We even analyze the cost or the damage behind
Yeah.
this. Let me just talk about Udana Kigami small and looking at this figure. This man, now he will be the vice president, na Rwanda, up to 2000, will be the president. But he gets strong hands them in the genocide. Let me not forget to, the Hutu them don't, the Tutsi them don't suppress the Hutus them for centuries.
Yeah.
And them don't and they rule them like slaves them, then they laugh them, then they do them all kind of thing until they make election. Now 85% of the population now they vote for a Hutu leader. Then say this na an abomination. They will kill him back. Now they kill the president, Hutu president. Where then a lot of people suspect see Kigami now one of the people that will kill that president. He get hands them. Yes, but benevolent dictator in Africa is better because of the deprivation where people are not suffer for so long. But I don't think see well for oppress a race a big a majority like that one. I don't think it's a good idea because now like a time bomb. The same way you go commodity, then the consequences maybe you know go did again for make you carry them or calculate the damage you get for B. So now in the bin at Rwanda so. The doctor say this Hutu they happy, but they don't have a choice because they have been suppressed for centuries since
Right.
that only they don't even get a leader for up to 2 years. We didn't kill them back because them just be one get that esteem, that respect. See, then say can be they say can will rule the country. They can will
Right.
organize themselves to be part of the governance, and they can't kill that person they back. So the man come back, it's dump and tap them. She did with a one make election inside Rwanda. What did they do? Then they scrutinize the leaders them. The one where they know say like compromise person then who will stand for election. Anybody where they know say get voice for remove Kigami from power, they stand that election. But what did they do in for make it convince the world? Now he make the lackluster performance of African leaders there, they give them small, they make something that maybe people can see when a good thing because we know see Africa we get resources. The one that not get resources are just management. Now manage to get it managed well. So imagine African leaders, the countries like Sierra Leone who get resources, we get good managers, then how we will be. So now
Yes.
this thing, this guy they profit on. Say let people let see something, let them talk, say, oh, this man a great leader. But beyond that, what is you don't pan tap? The same way they come out there, like when Mr. Kargbo, no, no, we calculate say that this na the damage. The same way he come out there, now you go see. I don't work with. I've been able to for a long time. A lot of Rwandans and Burundians, the tension, they, even the one they were outside.
Yeah.
So we work with them and we go see them, see agreement not there because they always they talk about the who to them now like the derogatory statement them, negative statement them, and today they continue for be oppressed. If you say even pin box for vote in Africa, when a tribe and they vote for genuinely, they're not go pull Kigami today. Then go pull them. Anyway,
Yeah.
my time don't know. I just want to small,
Thank you very much.
much small. I thank you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what the caller say. And for Rwanda, that is one of my fear constantly when are they in, when I do an analysis on Rwanda or I do an analysis that involves Rwanda. One of the things that I always bring to the fore is that una remember that quote where I use few weeks ago, and I say my late papa can always use that quote today, right? That is what I fear sometimes for Rwanda. And for Rwanda, sometimes I fear a situation of what happened to Blaise Compaoré in Burkina Faso. Sometimes I see a similar situation like that. Sometimes I also see something similar like what happened in Senegal in recent times. There are times when I also sometimes see what happened in in Mali and what's currently happening in Kenya, right? Not all the same scenarios then it will play out because the scenarios are different. However, the effect, right? The effect. I'm looking at the same effect. The effect will be the same. The scenarios might be different, but the effect, the outcomes might be the same. But I don't want to dwell in Rwanda. Let the Rwandans deal with their issues. The Sierra Leoneans have a lot of issues to deal with. So we are not going
Absolutely,
to.
absolutely.
If
We
I can come in,
we need
Matilda.
coffee.
Boy, people are going to vex for me
If I
today.
can
Oh, I
come
don't go
in,
tripartite. I not even touch
Ex-
tripartite.
I want let we shorten this thing. Let we get a program to discuss democracy in Africa. I
We
am
will.
making
And once in
certain
a
key
while, I do have those
statements.
type of programs.
I
But
am
I just
making
don't dwell
certain
on
key
it.
statements that you people are not taking note of. Governance and partisan administration not to the same.
No, absolutely. I agree
Secondly,
with you.
in Africa, we look at the person, not the institution. It's high time Africans begin to democratize their thinking. We can begin to democratize our thinking by having our governments to come with a national roadmap that will last X number of years, and it is inscribed in the constitution that until that roadmap is completed to the satisfaction of the people, no government no for deviate from them. Now we
Exactly.
take out
I agree
Anet
with you,
Koma do
Mr.
this,
Jamboria.
Madabio do this. Then the last point I go make very fast. If Africans want democracy, they should begin to participate economically into their affairs. We don't need IMF and these institutions. Let us take the case of Sierra Leone. If we have 1 million Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora, everybody agree for contribute basic $50 into a safe account where now they control them. We say, well, government, this now bond we dey buy from una. We expect dividend. We are going to control this account. You use it for us to develop what we want in the country. The profit from it comes back to us as dividends. That is
Exactly.
one way we can
Okay,
begin to democratize.
I agree with you, they say, sir. I agree with you, they say. I want to move on to the next topic, but before I move on to I just want to say
Let's go
one
to
thing.
the next topic.
You see, for a long time now, I don't stop completely for talk about this business of APC and SLPP, and I've stopped. I've completely stopped. I don't completely stop for talk about these two symbols, right? Because I definitely had to go back to my background and say, Matilda, what are you talking about? You studied peace architecture. You studied this thing. You know what it is. So what are you talking about? Because we hail from a society, call I not go off the line, I go take your call before we move. We come out now a society where, unlike where we are, right? Where we live, now the Occident, right? Now the West, where the policies are what guide our decisions, right? Liking the individual comes later. The first thing where we dey pay attention to, not to the individual, now the policy, now we dey look at first, right? And then, if you turn out to like the individual, that's fine. But now the policy first, the policy, right? Now, we own societies the way we hail from, and this is why I've stopped talking about SLPP, the symbol, APC, the symbol, because at the end of the day, it no matter what you say, then two parties so them for scrap them, they not for exist again. No, it's not going to solve the issue, because we come out in a society where we not look at the policy, we look at the individual. The individual is what guides our emotions, not what the policy. So therefore, it no matter if today, then scrap that word APC, then scrap that word SLPP, then go from WWX, WWY. The individuals will make up WWX, they will make up WWY, and because we are individual driven and not policy driven, guess what? We will end up with the same results. Because we'll have the same mindsets, we'll have the same, mental functionings, right? The same mind, the same type of thinking, going along, pulling along, pushing along. So nothing will end up changing. Now that make us say, I was hoping that to our young sets of politicians, we been for don't make gains in recalibrating their minds. But unfortunately, the old gangs have sapped them, it look like. Now, one pandemic, no, the epidemic middle not touch. But for the most part of them, the old gangs have sapped them. They've really sapped, and they talk big English again. The old gang then, they don't get them. They don't get them. So when you even look at the current setup, it is clear that these people, their people here, they have been corrupted. Their minds have been corrupted. They don't think in the manner in which they ought to think anymore, or in the manner in which you go expect them to think. As young people, they're like me. So it is left now, you say you form a third system. The third system will not work because, like we have seen in like the formation of the NGC, there are people from the two that will come infiltrate the third system, and then go turn the third system to waiting they want them for be, and before you know it, then go completely dilapidate the functioning of the third system or the existence of the third system. So honestly, I don't know where the solution lies. Make I go to the caller. Sometimes the caller gets one solution for me. Caller, what's your name and who you the call for?
Hello,
Hello,
viewers.
caller.
It's Umaru the call.
Yes, please go ahead.
First of all, I don't know the full detail of the topic because I just jump into the program right now. So, but I don't listen to the two callers the way me call. Another caller way call for they talk about Gaddafi, they talk about this, they mix up things. Then, of course, another caller I go way call, they try to articulate things. At least I will understand and small. But let we get something clear. When it comes in terms of democracy, the democracy where Africa practices, not that democracy we fit the African people. Now the democracy will be imposed on Africa from the West. And if we want strive, we get for tailor the democracy with the way with the practice according to the place we will find ourselves in Africa, and a democracy way go fit we. People talk something. I see them they call Kagame, then they call this anything after Kagame for now na conspiracy theory. The most important thing is that there is a development going on there. At the same time, for now, all things show say the people are happy. And when you check
I want correct
within
you.
the
I
go
want
now,
correct you. All
yeah,
things show say some of the people. All things show say some of. I want correct you because I work in a field. I work in a space that I cannot ignore the other voice. I have to acknowledge it. Some of the people.
yeah. So I can go now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You see, Rwanda, they don't jump past that side where they right now. Who they find themselves? These Hutis and Tutsis. That story, Rwanda don't jump that story. Rwanda then listen to when they say never again. They listen and then stick by them. And then we always see, no matter what happen, no matter how you look at them, we all know with this short time, within the 30 years, how they don't grow. So if we want to learn from them people a day, we get for learn first of all how they manage their own situation till then they will say they so. And one thing we lack in Sierra Leone is situation management. Since the war done this, that we feel see some man feels so they say war done. Now we got no they need a gunshot. But we they far from away from that. Because we peaceful we get in that country not stable. Then the way people they think that positive way. So I don't know if they try the callers and call if now compare and they try for compare Rwanda to that of Sierra Leone, or they try for compare the democracy there. The democracy in the practice in Rwanda, if it Rwanda, and if any country they practice the same democracy will fit the country, no problem. If in that country that kind of the democracy they practice in Sierra Leone, we go make we forget about this the SLPP, Timni APC business. We move, no problem. Then when it kind of China, I get the whole perspective, I all we look at China issue. Because no matter just like Matilda talk, can Africa for can thief. But I feel say that my way they can for can thief, way thief. Left 10,000, they can go 20,000. Better pass that my way they can't thief, take everything go with them. So, but actually, just like what I tell you, I just try for give me on side now this Rwanda issue. I listen to the topic. Actually, I listen to the whole program, learn how the program, because if I want to do a contribution directly to the program, I go from looking at the program, looking at the topic, But but way people they talk about Kagame, then they talk about this, that. We think Kagame is don't put in business. For now, the only two don't say development they go na Rwanda. If that time they reach, then we jump that bridge. For now, we will see a positive out of Rwanda. Yeah, clear na democracy. You go get one of two people we could oppose, but it try for the people, and we see them. Pasu don't want to talk about within Africa. Now one of the most, in fact, now one of the fastest growing nations in Africa for now. We can in terms of development. Everybody going young preservation about me, so me see and say, now who said and they it fits them. If they read that
Okay, I want to tell the caller thank you. So I want to go back to my listeners them and tell them say, and because then go they ask the question, Matilda, within all this Rwanda talk, this talk, that talk, you begin with liberal democracy. Till now you promise we say 30 minutes now, almost 2 hours ago, so you still there inside this talk. Well, let me say one thing, because sometimes we know some of we, and please, I no need for be in any way insulting or for any way, minimize people then thinking scope. Okay. I want for tell una for say in everything that way we don't talk so right now. Even though I not talk tripartite, the 1 to 88, in everything that we have spoken, the tripartite is in there. Trust me. Trust me. If una look at the different sections then from number 1 to number 80, if you listen keenly to some of the discussions then where we don't get Nayaso, una go begin pick certain numbers then say, this way Matilda been the talk, this way Mr. Kargbo been the talk, this way Mr. Jamboria been the talk. So in as much as I not begin it from number 1 till we go reach number 80, just know that in a nutshell, this is all part of that recommendation, right? We might be using different examples. Seems like we are talking about different topics, but it is all listed in there, all the inside the pot. Una trust me. Make we jump to something. And this one also I go beg me panelists make them not take more than 5 minutes. Do ya at the big una. Una not take more than 5 minutes in this one. Because not to the first term this we don't see them. Not to the second term this, not to the third term this, and I strongly believe it will not be the last. And so therefore, we touch on it, but we do not dwell on it because we will have other reasons and opportunity to come back to it. So this wire saw now from Mr. Harvard. Mr. Harvard put a press statement recently with regards to, I believe, now the current, Jack Kai, the situation of Andrew Jack Kai. He said the Anti-Corruption Commission says they have, so this make I give credit to whom credit is due. This is coming from Lamrana, and I know for say Lamrana is a freelancer right now. He's doing his own thing. He's no longer affiliated with AYV. He's out on his own doing his own thing as a journalist. Bravo for your independence and for the bold step. Like I say, I pray say you keep up, what we have all come to know you for, right? It says the Anti-Corruption Commissioner says they have concluded their investigation into the gift of 3 SUVs to the former Chief Immigration Officer Andrew Jack Kai, and the case has not met the prosecutorial threshold because he declared the gift both to Parliament and the ACC. The commissioner says they did not take proactive steps to establish the form in which the gift registered for public institution enables public officer to register gifts and will therefore work with public institution to ensure that gifts registration are established in institutions and encourage strict compliance. So there was a whole press release. And I want to go to a few weeks back, a decision also made by the Anti-Corruption Commissioner, and make una see. So few weeks back, una remember the Parantarawali case, not so. This now waiting the Anti-Corruption Commissioner get for say. He said the ACC concluded investigation on the Clerk of Parliament, Umar Parantarawali, and his wife, and imposes 5-year ban from holding public office on wife who admitted responsibility, recovers full sum, receive a salary plus 10% interest from her, and referred the clerk for strong administrative action by the president for failure in his supervisory responsibility despite denying acknowledgement. So basically the same thing basically come up as well. The same thing as Androja, the outcome. Same thing sort of come up where the ACC not go prosecute, they don't go because they not see say the case merit. As a federal public servant, right, because me they work for the federal, na Canada, I get strict rule where I for abide by with gifts. If somebody give me gifts, at any time it is seen as bribery. At any point in time, now any mission where they na any place where they work, it is seen as bribery. I for automatically call the ethics people them. I for report them immediately to the ethics people them. As a matter of fact, I not for accept the gift. I for make sure say I call the values and ethics, report the circumstances under which the gift was given to me. I for tell the person for go deposit the gifts on side, and then now the values and ethics now they decide what to do with that gift. That the gift will never ever come to me. Never ever come to me. It will never be in my possession. That gift will either, by the values and ethics, will either be decided to be traded in the open market and then get money and absorb them back into the economy, or then return the gift back to the person, then get several ways the way that they discard of the gift. But as a public, where una go call me the public servants there, me, I'm a federal employee. I'm not a municipal. I'm not a provincial employee. I'm a federal employee. It means I work for the Canadian government, period. I don't ever Elexef na one packet sweets the person offer me. I for declare am, I for go to the Values and Ethics Committee and say this person has to offer me sweet. And then go tell me usai for go because some cultures you cannot how them call them. Some culture then they some countries then they where we they work. We they work now 178 countries around the world. And I have been a mission advisor in the past. Right? Some countries then they accepting gift is like refusing a gift is insulting in their culture. So therefore, if even you accept the gift at that point, the next minute which you they do, you contact the values and ethics. And then they tell you, Usai for go drop that gift there immediately. And then they take it over from there. So me not understand how somebody go receive gifts worth that much. You know a public servant. You not declare them, but then and give you new position. Then you go talk, say, hey, I got them gift there, so. And then the person we're supposed to be in this case, the anti-corruption and the value and ethics here, they talk say you know meet threshold of prosecution. When the person, in fact, in waiting me understand, according to the law, don't accept bribes. It don't accept to be coveted. I left and give you 5 minutes. Anybody can go first.
Yeah, Mr.
Okay, I
Jamboria, you
think
go
I'll
first.
go first.
Yeah, you go first, please.
The same principle operates in Norway, Matilda. I think Norway and Canada get a lot in common. Any gift received by any public servant, irrespective of the level, whether municipal, provincial, or national, should be declared immediately. And that gift goes to the government. As a matter of fact, added to that, every Norwegian company or business operating outside Norway, you get ethical guidelines where you follow. Anytime you go above or over that, that company automatically they get problem with the government. And this was what happened in Sierra Leone with African Petroleum. Why they left in 2018. I will not go discuss the details today, I know. Okay? You see, the problem in Sierra Leone is we get a culture where they encourage gift giving, especially with traditional leaders, where then they call them the team leader and say Bora. It's part of the culture. But we not get a line for distinguish between what constitutes a gift and what should not be a gift. This is why I can always say, I don't mention a once and two term, that instead of having an anti-corruption commission, we should have had something like a cultural commission where we will come up with ethical guidelines for public servants. Where they will clearly say, because of the culture, you can take this, but we cannot take this. And certain offices then they will for be excluded from gift taking. Like for example, immigration. Why for God's sake somebody for go give somebody SUV gift? If not for corrupt purpose. And we all know the situation about Sierra Leone passport issues. Offices then they on account somebody for they receive gift. To traditional office. The public administration. If a
Yeah.
paramount chief get right for receive gifts, but public administrators should not receive gifts. The minute somebody count gift to you, say thank you. Or go left and so place. You call say then they count so tino. You understand? We need an
Yeah.
ethical guideline in Sierra Leone. Having an anti-corruption commission with a free use of discretion, and especially where we employ people there that are politically compromised, and more so,
Yeah.
they not get the correct emotional intelligence for administer a place, then we're asking for trouble. Because
Yeah.
the next question is about the issue of parental alienation. Logically, who should be held culpable and be banned? Hmm. The woman cannot appoint herself into that office. The woman cannot go and begin to receive salaries if the husband is not in the know.
Exactly.
For make we na tentemute. We not to tentemute, we not go PhD level. But what you sabi and understand, to God you can get a PhD. You know, talk to me and not understand who say you want get me go.
Yeah.
We get for left here na salon. Now insults to the integrity of people who they think properly. I will stop on this. I'll not take all the time.
Definitely, I agree with you, Mr. Jamboya, because me, honestly, I don't understand this. I don't understand them today. I don't understand the ruling today. I don't go understand them in any given situation or circumstance. I don't go understand them. Because, like I said, this man is an employee of the state, right? Just like I'm an employee of the state of Canada, he's an employee of the state of Sierra Leone. So I don't see how this is inexcusable in any way, shape, or form. I don't get it. Mr. Kargbo, go ahead because I sure say the same thing applied to you as well now you woke.
Oh, clearly, and 100% I agree with you and Mr. Jamboria. To me, I know we'll talk too long on this. Two things we are going to say. The number one is the ACC, the agency, is useless. We get CID, written as CID, Criminal Investigation Department. If we don't declare corruption as criminal, why we need ACC? Why reinforce the CID? Let them investigate, then criminal acts then they because corruption is criminal. So it's
Yeah.
supposed for fall under CID. So making anti-corruption create avenue for spend unnecessary money and also politicize them. So that particular agency they is useless. And now I know Sabi Ben Kelfala personally and stuff, but I go make and clearly say a disgrace to Salon. Danny, I know they I know they even and this when I don't think I'm as insult and probably if Matilda a chance we go give an example as to somebody where we go say again I use this word exemplary leader na Kenya turn
Yes, I'm
down.
about to read that.
Yes, exactly. So Ben Kelfala, we don't see severally. Some of una they post on Twitter and stuff. PhD, of course, get PhD, but I just want to talk PhD, that concentration on a specific field. It don't necessarily
Yes,
mean you sabi everything.
yes.
So people again probably not because of the one they will not know. Where you say you get PhD, and now that's make book of them people they didn't even disclose waiting and get them PhD on. Because waiting and get them PhD on, even get any connection with the position we then give them. That make them not they disclose. Waiting and get their PhD on. Then just they kind of say, oh, I get PhD, mean a doctor, this, doctor, that. I'm not jealous of them because some people and they now a choice they make, not to say they're not brilliant, but I just want to let people know saying a concentration of a particular field. And not to in fact the entire field, now specific area they concentrating. So not to say if you say you get PhD in economics, that means you study economics so much. No. It means say you concentrate on if let's say for example now competition like or certain concept within economics. You go deeper into that concept they
Yes,
form way better than at the master's level. So that's not
yes.
PhD, a concentration of a specific area. So una know they kind of misunderstand, say, oh, where somebody get PhD, they know it all. Just like, for example, the bank governor. Ebo me fumble them. That man no get no sober experience. No sober experience at all. When me we sit down I get more practical experience in economics person. But yet, it don't talk about PhD and all that stuff. When I see the mess we make. And Kelfala no make not get PhD, but instead they make a mess and mockery of the system. So to me, a disgrace. And I go pause there because I say I don't for talk too much. Now then two words then they no more. One, the ACC as a commission, the entire agency useless. And two, the possible way they add them now disgrace to the country. I go pause there.
I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. But Mr. Cargo, you get for left this with Grandpa dancing in the rain, dancing in the rain. Bank governor. eh? Because what?
Well, again,
Why leaving Grandpa?
it's nice for
And
let people
where
let
is he now?
and
The man just disappeared.
yeah.
I see
Yeah,
the
na
bank
no
governor
shine.
disappear. The next thing I saw was videos of him dancing in the rain, enjoying his best life. So, yeah, you have to give him his pass. He exited dancing
I'll
in
go
the
buy
rain.
one
Okay,
small island na Caribbean.
now the Caribbean, exactly. I am okay. I'm being really petty right now. But again, the dangers again about most of these things is that, like I said, me as a federal employee, I not get the right for speak out openly about my political affiliation. Absolutely not, because I serve the people of Canada. Period. I am here to serve the people of Canada, period. I not get, if I decide for going to politics, I get the timeline where I supposed to give notice to the people and where they work with, and then declare public. There's a whole barrage of procedure that I'll have to go through to even say I am interested in politics. But as of right now, I work for the people of Canada, period. Nobody knows my political affiliation, my political interest. That's it. Because it is completely prohibited. Now, part of the oath of office way I take. But sis alone now, the person in question, we know that who side belong. The one where they talk say, implicable or okay, we know side belong. You know what I mean? Where does the application of the law comes in? And where does the application of friendship and fraternity? Where does the line? Are the lines blurred? Definitely, we can see that the lines are blurred somewhere. So salon we get beaucoup for deal with. We get beaucoup for talk. We cannot go and be seen, but then we they refuse for apply. We always they go, we they see, we they clap for other people them. Always clapping for others. Why can't we do so that others will clap for us as well? Like what is wrong in having others cheer us on and clap for us as well? What's wrong with that? Recently I was somewhere, I gave a speech, and after giving the speech, people, bah, 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 bah. I didn't know that there was a head of a faculty, a dean of a faculty, or whatever there. He rose up, stood up, came to me and said, "Hey, madam, I would like you. Have you ever thought of, I read your bio. I don't see if have you ever thought of doing your PhD?" I smiled. Imam intimate me, I mean, man self smiled. He said, "I would like to invite you, to come to our university, come see the faculty, cruise around, just see if you would like it. I think you'll do very well in this program. And I think you will be awarded full scholarship." Now, the Queen Elizabeth something scholarship. He said, I am very sure, as a matter of fact, you just need to come and say, "Nah, smile." I'm like, he's like, "Why are you smiling?" I'm like, "Because I'm not ready." It's like, "What do you mean?" But you touched on those subjects, you articulated it so well, you expunged on it so well, you now laugh. Now I say, "Listen, I say, when I did my master's, I actually was offered a straight PhD. I turned it down. So not a PhD they worry me. Not a sense they worry me. Not a book they worry me. There are other things that people pay attention to than having the prefix PhD. Some of you not care about that. You know? And so the person gave me their card and said, "My door is open at any time. Think about it." And I smiled politely and said, "Thank you very much." And I left. So just an example to say, some of you, they run out of this PhD. Some of we PhD, they run out away. But now what we know want. You know what I mean? Let us
Well,
do better for
yeah,
our country.
yeah. Actually, let people not misunderstand. We say we the downgrade PhD because
No, we're
maybe
not downgrading. No.
yeah, people then go and misunderstand. We definitely admire people that we get PhD. Back to that Kelfala, Ben Kelfala, that in it.
But it
Other
is
people,
misused. Mr.
yeah, well,
Kargbo, the PhD is misused, it is abused. There are people who legitimately have it, studied it, and they put it into best practice. But I am
yes,
sorry, in
so,
this part
yeah,
of the
so
area where we come from, that corridor outside we come from, Boku people them inside that corridor, they abuse PhD. Now that make
yeah,
I
well,
say some people them they run after the title PhD and PhD. Some of we na PhD they run after we, but we no want. I know what I
yeah, well,
was saying when I said that.
yeah, I
I'm
understand
not
clearly. Let me say,
dismissing
If I
the
can
yeah,
come
work.
in, Mr.
I'm not
Kago.
dismissing the work that goes into it. Neither am
yeah,
I
Mr. Kago.
dismissing the benefit of it. But I am saying, make we not just always they go gang on this thing. This thing has misled us. It has
well,
misled us.
yeah, let we say now individual, yeah, now individual aspiration. Let we put them so, and left them at that. Just a moment, Mr. Jamboria. I just want to remind people about this anti-corruption where this Jaya Kai Kai issue or what. I believe say within the US. It put even a statement, unfortunately, we're not able for because of the time, we'll not be able for Brian Cam. It put a statement. It even give particular amount where
Yes.
the equivalent of that amount they if you exceed, you for declare am. So
Yes.
not even make any kind of exception, nothing like that. And this man, they don't get this gift for quite a while now
Not to be
until
50,000. Was it 50,000?
you
If
know,
it exceeds 50,000 or something like that?
now small money, now small amount where it say if you
Yeah.
exceed the amount they, the value of whatever gift exceed the amount they automatically for declare 'em. So now part of the law. So now this man, Jaya Kai Kai, they be don't give this gift long time ago. Now until
Yeah.
where it come before parliament and in no say that thing they get for come out and then it declare or not even declaration. He tell them, inform them, inform them, not a declaration that way. He inform them, say, oh, somebody be don't give me gift, and it call the gifts them and stuff. Because not a parliament you they go declare. So now when it come to parliament, so for like he used that like how Mr. Jamboria they say, I don't know that they want for stupid. Doku people them do not go that kind level of school where may you to go, but then get common sense. So common sense, go convince somebody with common sense. Say you get the number of vehicles with that kind AB values. And then you say, you know what? We books them. We not get that process for let somebody declare then can gift them. They seriously,
Yeah, yeah.
seriously.
And one of
So
those cars, a single one of those cars were over $80,000.
well, again, like how they say, not to one motor car, like several cars them. So Ben Kelfala, again, I just want for let people to understand why one of the reasons, because not the only reason that one of the reasons why I say na a disgrace to Sierra Leone. Because for whatever reason, it assumes that people majority of Sierra Leoneans they're stupid. Now that assumption, and that's arrogance. For the life of me, and whose
You know
exposure,
Uh,
whose exposure
Mr.
Ben
Kargbo,
Kelfala get for let it think
Mr.
say,
Kargbo,
yeah, I go tap on me. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I never call her arrogance. You see, are they come with the same word over and over? Ignorance is a crisis in Sierra Leone. Education is not about the title. It's about the change that it brings to your visualization of the world, your relationship with the world, and everything around you. And one of the things to education they give you na moral fortitude. Moral fortitude, it dey allow you for look say this I not dey do am because if I do am, e not right. Not until the law tell you for do am or not for do am. We have people in Sierra Leone passing with all these titles, but they are ignorant of the psychology wey necessary for make them be in the offices the way them dey. Because they
yeah.
were not brought up in that environment. One of the sickness of we society is that they not dey teach pikin them moral and ethical fortitude. We lack then currency then day. And when somebody gets education where you not get anything then day, it dey become a danger unto himself. Now the worst form of ignorance. Sierra Leone gets a percentage of ignorance we very high. We will not dey take note of because we dey blindfold we self with the wrong word, illiteracy. There are no illiterates in Sierra Leone. Every Sierra Leonean able talk in language. If na mende e born, na mende they talk. Maybe they not able read and write them because they know they read and write them. But literacy is about your proficiency with a language.
Yeah.
Ignorance is what we are not talking about, and it's high in Sierra Leone. And what's so with those who are assuming they are educated? When ignorance is controlled in a society, ethical standards they prevail. I don't need to tell Matilda what to do. She doesn't need to tell me what to do. We know because we have it embedded in us by the education, by whatever they do. Same with you, Mr. Kargbo. No need for tell you what to do and what not to do. It becomes an unconscious reaction because it's coming from your subconscious. The education, they impact your subconscious and change them. But if you go to school, you go university, you go to the highest level, you're not able to change your subconscious, then stop talking about being educated. Call yourself a functional literate. I go end on there.
Yeah, and definitely we get a lot of functional, illiterates in our salon. Many. I'm sorry to say, I'm a country, but we get for talk two side 2 day. Not so because you carry degree mean say it's a big book. I want to read something I actually happen in Kenya as we dey move on to the tripartite. So, the Law Society president in Kenya, Faith, what's the name? Faith Hohiambo,
Nyambo.
rejected appointment by President William Ruto to be member of an independent task force. So, the president of the Law Society of Kenya, Faith Oyaimbo, has rejected the appointment by President William Ruto to be a member of an independent task force that will audit the country's public debt. In a statement by LSK Secretary Florence Muturi, the LSK noted that the task force is unconstitutional since the mandate to conduct public audit rests with the Office of the Auditor General. Una see? LSK pointed out the Auditor General is required by law to audit the public debt within 6 months after the end of each financial year. For reliable news coverage updates and this was by AYV. When I am not going to say here when system works. I am going to say when people of integrity are within a system, the system
Just
works.
qualified my
That is an
word. Moral fortitude,
that is an
Matilda.
example. This na an
It's an
example.
example.
Inside salon right
Yeah.
now, if them call
Yeah.
too much Jabi, I swear to God, he go drop in penny before don't want go they go and
They dance
present yes.
all net, and they go make party.
If you for
Again,
don't want go there,
yeah,
listen, I don't know you too much, Jabi, Gentle, or whatever your name is, but your conduct so far don't demonstrate to me, say, if this was in Sierra Leone, and then been call you, and then call you, you been for don't drop pen, you don't forget you out of office, you don't forget what you swear to when you graduate to law school, and who that you swear for serve and protect, you don't forget, even the constitution of the nation. You before don't drop pen, don't go answer yes, sir.
yeah.
So this is
Uh,
why I say when people with integrity works within an institution, the institution works. That is a clear demonstration. I will left for the floor, Giona.
yes, I will go first this time, Mr. Jamboria. And again, I will say, I will explain why I say Ben Kelfala na disgrace to Sierra Leone. This na a typical example. Tuma Jabi, now it will be assumption whether it will take the opportunity or not. Now assumption, but
I am
Ben
sorry,
Kelfa,
Mr. Kargbo.
yeah,
I don't want to cut you. I am sorry, but they say I have seen best practices. They say precedents not to so. The
yes.
precedent that someone will take on an office in a defunct election tells me that that individual is capable of doing such. I stand by it. In a lawyer, make it carry me go police.
No, again, and where I say an assumption, it not necessarily means your assumption wrong. Not to that I didn't mean. But for the fact, say again, we love. I want to concentrate on Ben Kelfala for Tagam by this kind of example. The president of the Law Society of Kenya, he make it clear, say two things. In the first place, it unconstitutional for set up
Visional.
this kind task force. And then secondly, it may come to the president, say, you know what, I know say you don't know. Say, or you maybe one disregard the fact, say the office of the Auditor General now is supposed for audit public debt and any
Yeah.
finances within the public. So again, that two thing there. Now let we come to Ben Kelfala. And Bokubi, a few times they ask on this question. We get Anti-Corruption Act. This Anti-Corruption Act is secure the tenure
Yeah.
of the anti-corruption boss, the ACC boss. He secured that person there. And he even give wisdom. If that person there you want to remove him, you for set up a tribunal, and that tribunal investigate and recommend to the president, and then the president
Yeah.
take the recommendations then they to parliament, and then parliament vote, and then forget a two-third majority before them pull the anti-corruption boss. Ben Elfala then pull the anti-corruption boss without any of them processes they have followed. Then it accepts the
Ademacaulay.
position. Yes. Well, don't forget about Tudabidede, because again, people go and say APC versus SLPP kind of argument. But let me talk about the law, the
The
act
law.
they did. So one time I remember when they ask him, they say, well, the process where they pull that person they not in concern. In the process where they appoint him, it go through parliament. So that make him legitimate. When I see we make us in a disgrace to the country. Because if you're not a lawyer, you see this person, like how Mr. Jamboria talk about integrity. When you get integrity, you must say it wrong. Constitutionally, it wrong. And you're not a lawyer. You're supposed for able to defend the Constitution. If the president, for whatever reason, not aware, where I believe they are aware, you need for tell and say, no, Mr. President, maybe other position, but this position is not constitutionally right. It violates that. Before I take that position, they go through the process of removing the current person force. But in that one, and even they legitimize imposition. So when I see why I say that is grace to the country, and so how imposition or in education translate into upholding Sierra Leone laws. It clearly tells me.
And this was the one thing that KKY, with Friends of Today and Tomorrow, did. He called that out. And one thing that they will call out in the parliament, he called out everywhere, and I stood by him. I'm like, this was wrong. His appointment was wrong. His appointment was not constitutional. He did not follow the law. He did not follow the principle. He did not follow. Just like
Exactly.
when they go and bamboozle, this is how they also bamboozle him. So there is definitely no surprise, no day. We know for surprise, for when we say he's bamboozled in everything. Everything is being
Well,
bamboozled by him because
that for the
he
fact.
was appointed by a bamboozle process.
So for the fact say, and again, people like how they can say, apple native for don't far from the tree. That fact say, he accept this position where legitimately deserve or constitutionally deserving. Now he make for let it do them tear, for surprise anybody. For let it do
Exactly.
things way not in the interest of the country, because that thing where it do so, it don't give President Bill, in fact, so much power over him. Now that's aware. Say because of it all allow President Bill for sack somebody go through the process, the proper constitutional process, it can do to him. So that by itself, it can be used for blackmailer. Say, you know what? If you not do me bidding, I go sack you. So
No, but
that
you not go do
allows
Antoran. You not go
independence.
do Antoran. Just like when
No,
they not do Anto Paran, he also not go do it because they were they know also usai all the body then they do musa all the grave then they sabi they. So you not go mistake.
yeah, no. Well, if you're not doing bidding, he go saka. If you're not doing bidding, he go
That
saka.
is what I am
So that they
saying. He will
that they
not do it.
compromise.
He will
And
not do
anyway,
it because they know where all the unmarked graves are. And that will also be used as a blackmail against him. They know which game, they know the game where they play within themselves.
I
They
go, I
know
go
it.
pause, I go pause there. I
Mr.
don't know if we have time for
Mr.
talk
Kargbo.
about the tripartite, but I go pause
And
there.
when I say unmarked grave, people, because I know for say Salomon, they are very literal in thinking. I not say he kill person, no. I know they say he kill person. I not say he kill and buried person. When I say unmarked grave and all side the body, then I'm saying where all the dirts are, where all the cover-ups are, where all the hidings are. That's what I mean by that. Please, let me make the knock and say, hey, Matilda talk say President Bio, they kill people in the bed. No, I not say that. Please, euphemism. Thank you.
um, I wouldn't say much because I think everything connected with this issue I've been on saying previously. Education is about building integrity in the person. And this lady in Kenya showed that clearly. Not to the president force him for take that decision. Not to anybody force him. Now the fact that he get him in and say, this is right, this is not right. It's what we lack in Sierra Leone. I make a tell and I say we get a high level of ignorance. People go to school, but they come out as ignoramus them. On the issue of this young man in behavior, I don't want us to waste time on it because it is clear that he's one of those munkus passing as educated. Very clear. Everything about him. For you with that kind of office, they go dance publicly with a candidate. Next day, they make a botch election. Then you come back after that, shamelessly. They can't take decisions. You put them on a global media, Twitter, about parental rally and this, that. It tells you the man does not know his head from his tail. Na munku. And we get plenty munku there in Salon today. And that they we country. Even this political interest, now because the munku then are the inside politics. If now people away understand what for understand, we would not have reached this point. Honestly.
Okay. Okay. I want to take the call, make I not disappoint the caller. I will take the last two calls for tonight. I don't stretch the program. So the last two calls for tonight, caller waiting on your name and also you call from.
Yes, Mr. Kargbo, Matilda, Mr. Jamboria, I want to thank you. I recall from my last petitioner, Alpha CC.
Please go ahead.
Yes, also don't forget, the Greeks, them way they begin the award this highest form of education to people then win a PhD, win a philosophical doctor or doctor of philosophy. If you ask a Greek, wouldn't a person with a PhD? The Greek man no they ever tell you say, na person will get knowledge, or na person will educated, or na person will get sense. They no go ever tell you so. They will tell you say, na person will let for do research, na person will good on your own craft. In fact, back in the day, where this PhD begin, now people them where they do them carpentry, them messina, then kind job then they award the certificate of a
Yes.
PhD. Now I make even at salon, would they see a bunch of PhD older them, then they group together for go move generator from one town to another. Then the day they pick them 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks to a month, they're not able to come up with a good solution for go move that generator to another side, past people then die. Not for change plug or for make the cable then for connect. Because the idea then brain not there for do that. Because PhD means somebody go make right decision. PhD doesn't mean somebody gets sense. Right? So now that not make contribution today. And I thank you for the good job. God bless.
Thank you very much. The caller don't make I don't laugh small. I'm not going to repeat what he say, but people who has ears, let them hear. I will go to the next caller. Caller, what's your name and who's you the call from? Hello, caller. Caller, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, Sister Matilda and Mr. Cabo and Mr. Jallo. I appreciate you as always. It's always brilliant analysis. Hello.
Yes, go ahead. We can hear
Yeah,
you.
go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, I know you will not get from the Tripartite yet, so let me jump into that. I've read the reports, all 500 pages of it. Let me start by saying, from the offset, me, I've been there against the Tripartite based on constitutional grounds. That number one, it was never commissioned by Parliament or voted in Parliament or approved in Parliament. A commission like that should have been approved by Parliament before it takes place. Number one. Number two, it not been democratic to me in the sense that it not been open to other parties. It's just the unit party system we have. Now they know when they talk to each other for find way how to share power. Be that as it may be, and of course the U.S. ambassador, where you get more power, where you become spokesperson for the commission, which has more power than any politician in Sierra Leone. But put that all aside. Now, if I would on council with this report based on this recommendation, especially the 80 suggestions we then come up with and agree to, me, I truly believe Sierra Leonean, if we really implement this, which not the big question, because we don't implement anything. The TRC report, if we don't implement then they way back after that war, if we don't change the country drastically. But we did not do that. But we Sierra Leonean are the ask Una because Una understand our politics and Una understand how to lead. Una tell we how we go to put pressure for our parliament and for our president for really implement these recommendations. Because if they implement this recommendation, really to tell you the truth, it will benefit the country for the long term. So Nadande, me go like for ask Una please tell we and advise we the people how we go to lobby our own parliament, our own district parliamentarians to make this to fruition. Because this will take decades for we see this. You know, but when we start now, so we'll not get the repeat what can happen in 2028. And the last part, what I will say on this, if this is what it takes for Dr. Samura for give up power, if not this not the concession way it gets, if we implement this not big legacy for the country, not salute, it will help with processes. Please, wanna help with how we go make this reality. Wanna thank you.
Okay. We do have time. Do we have time? Okay, sure. I go give that person the Bonya because Nagomi they go so now. Bonya call. Who is calling? What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, hello. Say good morning. To Kargbo, Matilda, and to Jamboria. Me, Ahmed, I call from UK.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes. Listen, thanks very much for all the analysis. I don't listen to various speakers then. The last speaker, the type of talk about the outcome of all of these tripartite implementation for implementation, it will be good for the country. Listen, there is nothing good out of all which some of them they all be doing at the old constitution, they as laws. But as far as I know, looking at this particular regime implementing these things are a problem. Regarding the parliament we get now. Look at the bill they just passed recently about this jury now court or stuff. Dangerous bill. And how like some criminal court now not get a jury. Well, like before. So like the judge can just pass law, they sentence you and go to maybe life imprisonment. That is it. Bad laws then, they still operate with them. They will hope say this parliament will implement all of their recommendations there. But I will repeat their recommendations and wow shoot them in the first place. So Moku not hope into anything. We will get people like Ben Kelfala then. We'll see what happened with the bad decision. We'll see. Just like what Madam Matilda just read, just now where the Kenya, the leader of the Kenya, when they appoint a president appointed, he denied. Yeah, now then they beg for appointment. Civil society and they ask for portfolio. Now that kind of country, they will feel say, Mother be with all the greediness we get, with the interest we get, we see say it will implement something good. Well, look at what's happening with the past 5 years. Somebody just talk about a generator, just for go take more install at some side, can people instead of kill people. Well, look at what happened. What could not take eyes off for what don't happen the past 5 years. And more not take eyes off with regards to the election, which happened. We all see the election, I go. That kind possibly, Madam, even let's say we get this time for making complete this in time. You know, we will rule that country in a proper way. People are very disgruntled in the sense they not get the mandate where they vote for. So would I feel say that they will be normal to end some people in mind. Now, it's not going to be. And that's the truth. Because we get for find justice. We don't go move on for say, we continue for do good when we don't get justice as to what happened. Now, a disadvantage to the few people and them or the people that will vote against when we want the truth. So we look into that. So with all of this tripartite, now you don't can tell me plainly say, if you get a result for soon. Instead, the court law say the question of permit that. But what about best practice that Mr. Kargbo always talk about and give you a lot of analysis on that? So we as a nation, as Leone'S, we all get a role for play. How do we look at this one? They will feel say they reform there, go help we for go before. How? When some bad laws in the past, appointments they ought to go, whether they give people the position based on whether I said, would I not know, would I know, would I don't know, would I qualify, I don't know. No, look at all them guys that would occupy a state house today. Who said they militarily? No, look at what they do. Are they doing good? Look at anti-corruption. The parliamentary issue gets the clerk of parliament thief for himself, thief for himself. They will think say good thing will come out there. You know, what could be real now? I don't know why we left for the romance issues the way we see say they're not even tenable. It's not just secret. We go for the say the truth. And what could stand for democracy. The first caller to be the talk about democracy. I know point this. I don't know sign whose planet we in day. What for do next? Now the best rule that democracy. It give people the right for make people express their way. So why we not go embrace that? Now just because we get bad leaders and greedy people, selfish leaders. Now I make we face to the face today. Anyway, make us stop here. Thank you very much. I will continue for listening.
Thank you very much, listeners and callers. This will be my last call for today. Unfortunately, and I said unfortunately with a lot of regrets, maybe I go, if time permits society, maybe I go join into the show. Maybe when I go hear my voice, but when I not go see me. I'm not going to be here next week. However, with that said, I want to promise you that the tripartite discussion will continue next week. Because like I say, we get 80 recommendations. But you see, a good analyst and a good researcher, they begin with an hypothesis. So I don't think the two gentlemen, they sabi me, but I don't think say they sometimes they can understand me thought process very well and how I can take things. I did this deliberately. I do it deliberately where they say make we dey go before, because I don't want to lay a foundation. And at the end of the show, I want to ensure say we lay a solid foundation way to make sure say it lead to a continuation of the discussion. And I think say as a good researcher, as a good analyst, as a good strategist, I think I have successfully done that today by introducing the first topic, going on to the second topic. Now, as we dey left, when I get the 80 recommendations, then I would not be a good strategist and a good analyst if I not tell una for say, while una dey look at the 80 recommendations and day, una go back and una ask una self, and I'm going to put a limitation in what I'm going to say. Since the Bio administration take on power, una go back and una ask una self, almost committee they don't form inside this government. Almost recommendations have come out from those committee. How many of the recommendations that we come out from them committee that they don't implement? That's one question I'm asking. The other question we are they ask is that from all them committees then they and the recommendations then they wanna go back to the 80 recommendations and see if you will not find similarities in the 80 recommendations. Now, while una they do that, and no one just put a normal to the green, let us include the red inside. Because what they did was the green and the red came together and they excluded the rest. Not so. So, make we go back to the TLC recommendation. The TLC recommendation were na a mix of the green and the red. That's what led to the TLC recommendation. Make we look at the recommendations then they waiting the recommendations then say, make we look at this 80 recommendation and see if we cannot filter identical recommendations within the TLC that featured in these 80 recommendations. And I know why make this ask una for do all their homework there, so I'm proving a simple point. My hypothesis is that Sierra Leone loves to have committees. They dwell, they thrive, they cherish in committees, but they fail in applications. So as we get for take with them for peel the onions of these 80 recommendations, don't be surprised when you go see me, they go back to other committees then. Look at their own recommendations then. Bring them come and say, waiting different from this way happen here to this way when they say so. Don't be surprised when I go back to the TLC recommendation and pull excerpt from the TLC recommendation and say 20 odd some years ago, this is what was recommended. Had we implemented these, would we find ourselves here? Don't be surprised when I go to the Justice Cowan report and recommendations for the, the review of the how you call them, the Constitution. Don't be surprised when I pull these things up, because that's what a good researcher does. That is what a good researcher does. They go back, they peel, they dig, they unearth. They not just they look at what them put before them, and they go back and go dig and peel and dig and look and compare and contrast. Don't be surprised. I will bring the two gentlemen that's been with me today. Make I just say to them, I am leaving you with an homework. And they left me also with a big homework. Because next week I will not be here in the physical like this, but I will try for do my best for join Una, maybe via whatever. I don't know how it will work out, but I'll see what I can do to try to be part of the program as we unpeel this. This not going to be a one show thing, it's not going to be a two show thing, it's not going to be a three show thing, because there's one thing about me on for don't come for no is that if I don't put my foot inside poto, I dey dance inside it. So I don't put my foot inside this poto, we dey dance stay. The poto self now get for say do so now. But I get for dance inside this poto. Let me bring Mr. Jamboria and let me bring Mr. Kargbo. I have given them and I'm leaving them with a loaded assignment. I am bringing them into my brain and my mind frame. And I definitely know that they are up to the challenge and they will live up to the challenge. Mr. Mr. Kargbo just a shake it, say, Matilda, this one. Matilda.
The task is not
So,
too much a big one, Matilda. You know why? I
yes, sir.
already have listed the issues not addressed by the Tripartite Committee. Your hypothesis holds. that we like committees. You know why? We have always failed to address the root cause of all the issues where they keep repeating themselves in Sierra Leone. We dey fail to address them for several reasons. One, with social psychology, na ducks mentality we get. The leader they befall, man they be and they follow. The Sierra Leonean, with the exception of a few, now they think non-linear. In an abstract environment for see the connection between things. This Tripartite Committee, everybody they look at them as, oh, it's all about elections. It's not about elections. It's about those things that are causing us not to hold free and fair elections. And honestly, read the report from A to Z, nothing about those sociological factors and forces was addressed. Nothing, Matilda. I have them listed here. And right enough, the Tripartite Committee recommendations, whether we are talking about implementing them or not, this is something that well-meaning Sierra Leoneans for take in several programs, then discuss them. This is the way you change society, by creating the necessary awareness. Now get out of this ignorance of God mark this, God mark dandy. Now this God mark dandy mentality, now they make a few people they mislead with country, then they change the names every day. Today they call themselves APC, tomorrow they call themselves SLPP, tomorrow NGC. In the show we say those people lack integrity and moral fortitude. Like for example, this way so-called Mr. Educated may address the issue of Ben Kelfala. Right enough. But where is he today? He's performing the same duties like the Ben Kelfalas. It's a manifestation of lack of moral fortitude. What I don't believe in today, Matilda, I'll never believe in it. If I cannot participate today, I will never participate. And that's why maybe some people think I'm radical. Yes, I'm radical. Call me whatever you want to say. But there are certain things I don't bend. Even with my children, I tell them, if you don't do this way, anything that comes out of it, don't expect my sympathy. We have to have those standards in life. And because we lack them in Sierra Leone, we keep repeating doing the same thing, expecting different results. We have always been running on a treadmill. And that's why we are not developing. We have to change what is up here in our heads. Then we'll begin to see life differently. We have to begin to think non-linear. If we talk about tripartite, now look at the economics we involve. And Mr. Kargbo can come and tell us how lack of creating consumption and efficient production in society, they affect development. How it cause social stress and tension. How poor wages they cause social stress and tensions. And because of poor wages, people who should be maintaining integrity play sycophants. The educated class, they play sycophants necessarily because of poor wages and conditions. And some not even get the integrity for say, I can go out of this country without this job, I'll go get a job somewhere. Somebody who is a classic example is Abdul Tijan Cole. When he was appointed ACC, he fell out with an Escoma on certain issues. He resigned.
Yeah.
And he carried on. How many of our educated Sierra Leoneans can do that? Begin look at issues from the non-linear point. We go discuss this tripartite, but we are not going to concentrate on the recommendations. Because I tell you what, they can implement all of them, but nothing will change. Nothing, Matilda. We go end
And
and
that
the
make
will
us
not take too much time.
exactly. I don't want to push the program to 3 hours, and we are hitting that 3 hour mark. And that make us say it is good to not just look at the recommendation but juxtapose it with other recommendations and that of the
Yeah.
TRC, and you will see that we are going around the circle. Period.
Yeah.
We're going around the circle. Mr. Kargbo, I will let you make you say your final word as we dey close.
Yeah, well, me not get much for say other than for say Mr. Jamboria hit really well, saying we get for look at the social, then call them socio economic conditions,
Economic. Yeah.
yeah, of the country, and then they can help. But however, the tripartite recommendations then try. The only thing no more, it's just unfortunate that we not go into it because I tell people them on Thursday, say deliberately I know we'll talk much, but we go nyaka nyaka the Saturday.
We
But,
cannot
but,
nyaka nyaka it in one setting. To
but
do
for
justice
whatever
to that, we need about at least 4 or 5 shows to do
yeah,
justice
but
to it.
wait you go catch something where me and Mr. Jamboree a few times we don't need talk about this and we dey go different ways them, even though they say the same thing but in a different ways. But again, Fambulem, the intention that we put on, so the initial intention of forming this tripartite, it be wrong. No question about that. So the initial intention, from your understanding, APC, because for the most part, now APC push for this tripartite because dengue conditions say before ever they engage, again at the paraphrase now, and the way we me understand them, before ever they engage in governance, for let them go parliament, the major mayors then see the councillors, the elected people then for let them take them positions them, they need independent non-Sierra Leonean body for let them come, then sit down per case. And now that push them for even think say. Now they're no more. Now the Sierra Leoneans, they will not be happy with the elections. So now they're no more for them at the table with the SLPP. So now that way they, because of the way how they set them up, because of, in my opinion, a manipulating, because they therefore manipulate the whole process, thinking to say then go corner President Bill and ECSL for like through this tripartite, then pressure them for release the disaggregated result. That's not be the intent. And that intention, they become known by the other party, they manipulate that as a way for like got you kind of approach. The SLPP, on the other hand, then self manipulate the system and say, you know what? Bingo. This is an opportunity to let them recognize we administration. For like we tell in the international community, say, we willing to include the opposition in governance. So they all two to get a different purpose. So it's so
That is why it is called the game of Botkidi.
exactly. But I don't know if the younger one they know it in about Kitty. But again,
Ah, then go
again,
Fenam.
but again,
African golf. Just say the African version of golf. Can you
okay.
understand?
So because of the initial approach to this thing, it kind of creates a situation whereby one, Senge, for some reason again, kudos for where it cleverly now one article I read and I will just touch on it briefly. It said, "Do and let people not go about and say SLPP win, APC loss." It said this a win for Sierra Leone. You see, I
Alone.
think
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
they don't too sure now. Say like for now, let it reduce the tension. A very clear saying President Bill get what he want. Intention not
Oh
to
yeah.
word tripartite and not be interested in tripartite. the only thing we make he allow this now for APC recognize him as the winner of all, as the president of Sierra Leone. If you even do not recognize him as the winner, but for recognize him as the president of Sierra Leone.
Exactly.
And,
You're
and in
damn
fact,
right.
yes, in fact, then do that. Now, I make one
Yeah.
person become now we program on Thursday and saying, oh, recognize the president and stuff. But the tripartite, the last recommendation, and also we'll not talk about them, but the last recommendation, the 80th recommendation, is say them for submit the report to the president. They don't say the former president, or they don't say the acting president, they say to the president. So meaning that the tripartite don't acknowledge
Legitimizing
President
his
Bill for
president.
being the president of the
They have
country. And
given him what is called performance legitimacy.
exactly. So now that legitimacy the President Bill be want. And now that's make when people and they say, oh, the MCC, then they play politics. No. Now we don't kind of, in fact, disrespect the Sierra Leonean people. So like how they can say, you were dress you kakadebul. If you call a name, then what do you expect for the other person call the devil by name? So now we no respect we serve. So MCC they see and say, you know what? Now even favor did they do to the country for at least if not to long term say, but but for the short term, let stability reign or peace reign in that country there. So people and where they hope say again the
Yeah. And I
intention.
mean, as of right now, Bio, the SLPP regime, the Green Gangs, definitely went in with a strategy. I don't talk on IASO several times say the APC, they not get strategic thinkers then. And the need for use the young people them more often for make them strategize because that's what the SLPP is doing. They are using their young brains to do the strategic work for them. And the
Well,
APC also need to do the same. Use their young brains to do their strategic work for them and then get the old goons to vet the strategy. They are not doing that. So basically, waiting the green gangs don't do is right now, they have played into the hands of basically they don't let the APC play into their hands, and by letting them play into their hands, indirectly benefiting, getting the dividends of what they were looking for, and then having the Americans who are at currently loggerheads with the Russians, giving them that clear opportunity to come and sweep in and say, hey, we gave you this, you've done it, voila, check, check, check. That's it.
yeah. So me conclude.
And,
Me
and
conclude.
another side that we normally will not look at. What proof do we even have that Russia was going to construct a nuclear power plant in Sierra Leone? That's a
Mr.
statement of
Jamboria, we don't
arm
ask Yawa,
twisting the
more they go.
Americans.
Next step. We don't
Yeah.
ask Yawa, they go, they go.
So clearly, now me conclusion that saying the intent it be wrong in the first place.
Mm,
That thing say now salon
mm,
people go benefit, not true. And another thing we appalling, we again with politicians, most of them, if not all, a big disgrace to the country. Look waiting happen and waiting I don't know if in a Latin word where they say quid co pro.
Quid pro quo.
The person where now the co-chair on the SLPP side, where we they talk about dignity. You submit a report where that report they supposed to be in the interest of Sierra Leone. You go there, you say they negotiate on behalf of Sierra Leoneans them, and now that's their claim. Days, I think not even one day after they submit the report, we see list of names, new positions them, Comonado, and automatically they make this man secretary to the president, meaning that then compensate them with position.
Well, I've
You know,
already said that Sierra
you know,
Leone is a
even
country or
you know,
whereby the
even with,
leadership compensates for bad behaviors. You are
you,
compensated for bad
you know,
behaviors or for falling in place. So
you
then
know,
they know for
even with,
becoming. Anyways, we don't
yeah.
we don't
So
we don't stretch with
so
time.
so so, so this not just for say give a clear indication as to waiting at the interest, because that very man they do all kind thing for make sure say a bid on behalf of the president. Let Coneno release then disaggregated results then they by polling station. It do all kind thing for stop that.
Oh yeah.
And now we don't, and so it tell Wuna say, because like how Matilda say, we know from the onset.
Compensation for
Yeah.
compliance. It
Well
is
now
called
crash
compensation
tell,
for
tell,
compliance.
tell people and say you catch me back, I catch you back. Now
I
that's then do.
scratch you back.
So again,
Yes.
I go stop there and want to tell people and Boku thank you. But clearly the tripartite, we will go through the recommendations them, let we not just kind of preempt for let una self then get certain
No,
recommendations then, but the
promise
question
me,
is the
trust
implementation
me.
and the
Let
way.
me promise my
Okay.
audience because when I promise I dey deliver. From number 1 to number 80, we get for read them, we get for make sense of them. And then, like I say, we get for analyze them in juxtaposition with other things then. Because that is the only way we get people to understand the depth of these things. We cannot just breeze through them. We cannot just summarize them. We get for take with them because some people they really depend on them show ya so for really understand. Some man they read, they don't know what they read. Oh. Make I tell you that. I don't get boku messages them. Sometimes that it is Matilda, thank you for breaking it down. Because I read them more, but I not be quite understand what I read. But when you broke and down for we be able now understand what we've been they read. It's not everybody that reads that understands, you know. So I want to tell you now all thank you. Like I say, next week, I think that's why the show is stretched a little bit today. Next week, I'm not go there, so another commitment, calls. But I will try for see if I go join the panel. I will try for see if I go join the panel from a location. That way, you can hear my take as we go along. Like I said, this is not something that can be done in 1 or 2 shows. When I remember when the COI report been come on, I take me 10. I did it, I think, over 4 or 5 shows. Reading one by one and taking my time. And this is what we're going to have to do with this. It might be boring for some, but let posterity see that we did our part. Okay? Una thank you. May God bless una all. Any sausa una friend una self. May God give una waiting una they look for and make it protect and cover we all. Until next time, una tata.
Family Munatata.
Keep on listening to Unatata.
Push na salon, but we life
That
them.
is so right, yeah now. What's if they do? What we brother them they die. Push on down the hill, now them body just they try. So foot at them body they and now they just they cry. Now we brother them foot so they swell now why? I don't know if now the chemical or what's in them they put. Best now for avoid them, nothing but the suit. Other food and they for it, come up be and kush. We say bring this message so you too hope for you. Oh no me.
Every day we dey lost it man their life because of push, yeah. Papa government, NGOs not come so we aim, yeah. The way they import push, like salon, no. Now we value we like Dr. Isaac would say.
Say not a push, me brother don't want before you tell me. Say not a